Imagine a civilization so advanced it doesn't just live on a planet anymore, it lives around an entire star. To capture every bit of that star's energy, it would need to build something almost too big to imagine. And for decades, scientists have actually been searching the sky for exactly this kind of structure. This is the Dyson Sphere, one of the most famous ideas in the search for alien life. Here's where the idea came from, why it's harder to build than it sounds, and what scientists have actually found while looking for one. The idea comes from physicist Freeman Dyson, who published it in 1960 in a paper called Search for Artificial Stellar Sources of Infrared Radiation. Dyson said he was partly inspired by an old science fiction novel called Star Maker, written decades earlier. His argument was simple: any civilization that keeps growing will eventually run out of energy on its home planet. So the next logical step is to stop using a fraction of a star's light and start using all of it. The classic image is a solid shell built completely around a star, capturing every photon of light it produces. But a solid shell has a serious problem. It isn't gravitationally stable. It would need constant correction, or it would eventually drift and crash into the star. So most scientists now imagine something more realistic instead. A Dyson swarm, thousands of separate panels or satellites orbiting the star together. A swarm like this could take many shapes: a partial ring, a scattered cloud of panels, or independent structures at different distances from the star. Either way, the scale is almost absurd. You'd likely need to take apart an entire planet just for the raw material. Some estimates suggest disassembling something the size of Mercury or Jupiter to build enough collectors. To be clear, nobody is proposing this is easy. It's really a thought experiment about the outer limit of energy demand. So how would we ever find one of these from Earth? Dyson's key insight was thermodynamics. Any structure absorbing that much starlight has to release the energy again, as waste heat. That waste heat should show up as excess infrared radiation, glowing at a wavelength human eyes can't see, but our telescopes can. So astronomers actually built a full search around this idea. 3 major infrared sky surveys, IRAS, WISE, and ACARI, scanned the sky looking for that exact signature. A 2009 study used IRAS data to set an upper limit across the whole sky. It found nothing. Several smaller surveys of individual nearby stars came back empty too. One of the largest efforts is a project called GHAT, led by astronomer Jason Wright at Penn State. Using WISE data, the team scanned roughly 100,000 galaxies for the infrared glow a truly massive, galaxy-spanning version of this technology would produce. The result? No galaxy showed a clear, unexplained infrared excess. That doesn't rule out these civilizations entirely. It just means none showed up in that particular search. Interestingly, there's a second way to search for one of these. Not by looking for heat, but by looking for shadow. If a Dyson swarm were still under construction, it should block some of a star's visible light in strange, irregular patterns. That's actually the exact story behind Tabby's star, the real star you already know from our earlier video. For a while, its unpredictable dimming looked like it could be a megastructure being built in real time, before the data pointed to dust instead. The search hasn't stopped since then. In 2024, a project called Hephaestus combined data from the Gaia, 2 MASS, and WISE telescopes to hunt for Dyson Sphere candidates around nearby stars. It flagged a small number of unusual stars worth a closer look, and follow-up observations are still ongoing for a few of them. After more than 60 years of searching, in infrared and invisible light, nobody has found a confirmed Dyson Sphere, which is very different from proof that they don't exist. Freeman Dyson passed away in 2020 at 96 years old. But his idea has completely outlived him. It shaped decades of serious astronomy, and it shows up constantly in science fiction, from Star Trek to modern novels. Even Dyson himself once said he thought searching for actual alien intelligence would be more rewarding, but detectable technology was the only thing we had any real chance of finding. So a Dyson Sphere might say more about human ambition than about aliens. It's a genuine engineering answer to a real problem. What does a civilization do once it outgrows its own planet? Nobody has built one that we've found, at least not yet. But the fact that we keep looking says something about how seriously scientists take the question. Do you think a Dyson Sphere is something we'll ever actually build ourselves? Let me know below. And I'll see you in the next one.